Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Raul, and continuing on my Richard Petty Superbird here that I'm working on, and struggling with a couple of things, but getting some tips from you guys. So, working on these, modifying the wheel wells and trying to get them consistent from side to side, and doing the masking tape thing. I was struggling with it, but some of you guys commented, but Tim Stuper, really appreciate your comment, which I replied to on there, about using very thin sheet styrene, which I actually had. So I did have a sheet of it that you could almost see through. And I was using it on stuff like this, like I actually filled in the rear license plate area, and then I'll fill in these marker lights too. But I'll use epoxy putty for those. Kind of like what I did on a Javelin, but I stripped the chrome off of these and I was doing this. But he mentioned, you can take your pattern, do it in sheet styrene. So I took this, stuck it right to the sheet styrene and cut it out, trimmed it to exactly what I wanted, and, tape it right on there, mark it, and then do the same thing on the other side, or I can put it exactly where I want, but it'll give me the wheel opening that I want on both sides, make it consistent left and right. And pretty clever trick. So I'm like, that's really cool. Never really thought about something like that. But he said he got it from Lucas C, which I know him locally and know him, but he builds a lot of NASCAR and that kind of stuff, and I don't. But so I didn't catch that tip there, but he got it from Lucas C. So thank you for that tip and everything, and sharing it. And that was really cool, and it worked out pretty nicely. You can see this one, same thing. Got it on there, lined it up with the body line, got it where I wanted it, and marked it. So it took a little bit of time, but doing that made it easy to switch from one side to the other. So now the next step is I'll go outside and I'll use my Dremel and start sanding this out right up to where the black is all the way around, and try and keep them consistent. But I can still use these even after sanding it to see, okay, is it where I want it to be and everything. So it was a great tip. And even though, and I use YouTube too for some other tips and tricks as well on stuff like this. So we'll give Lucas C credit for that one. And I'll tease him about it one of these times, but that's the community of YouTube and everything, which is really cool. So I'll continue working on this. So I'll start grinding this out and I'll update this video here. So we'll stick around with that and stay tuned. All right, well, here's how the fronts came out. So you can see how it went with using the pattern to see what I'm doing and compare it. So the two fronts are done. If I can get it all lined up here. So came out really nice. That tip worked out really nice. And I know you guys are gonna ask, I'm using just my Dremel with this drum here and going really slow on just basically two, just enough power to get it going. And, just carefully and slowly, just working it, not letting it dig too much into it because it'll dig and walk. If you guys have used it, you kind of know. But I'll go out there and I'll continue and I'll do these ones as well. So we'll see how those come out. All right, now we did the rear section. So definitely like how that came out, but here's the rear template for that. And maybe another little tip point, maybe write a little thing that says forward, because when I was doing it, I flipped it around once, but I realized, oh wait, the shorter one is the rear. But that's looking really good. What do you think, Ryan? Does it look good to you?
Yep.
You like this little trip? That was a nice little tip there, shared from Tim Stuper from Lucas C. So helped me out quite a bit. And we'll see how it mocks up when I fit the chassis to it. I'll go back to working on the chassis a little bit. I did sand some of this stuff out, some of the marks and stuff. And I'll be doing some more of the epoxy putty, filling in all of this stuff. And I sanded the gas tank flat because I was thinking about extending it. But I'll probably add a piece of styrene to it to extend it that way. So some more projects to work on, but this thing's coming along great. But I'll do a little bit more mock-ups and everything. So really, really happy with this. I know it's a little bit of a short video, but a nice update video. But that worked out great for me, so I do appreciate all you guys' input and your tips and help and everything. Now I'll clean up and do a little bit more to this. So thanks for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments and everything. We really do appreciate it. And you guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time. Say bye.
Bye. Also, what HP motor is that?
We'll get more into that motor later.
Okay.
All right. Since I'm playing around here, I'll do another quick little one. Another thing that I've kind of figured out playing with some of this stuff, when I'm doing the epoxy putty, like right here, to get it nice and flat, I just put a little bit of the putty in the hole that I want to fill out, and then just take another piece of styrene and flatten it out. And then when it squishes it out, and on this one, it's real nice and easy. Here's a bubble, so I got to push that bubble, pop that bubble. Get some back in there. And then push it flat. So this one's going to have a bubble too. And sometimes you got to do this a few times, but it'll get it nice and flat. And when you squish out extra, I'm going to put this over on this side. Squish it out. There you can see where the blue is from where it's overlapping. Just peel that right off. And squish it again. Gives you a real nice flat plate looking. There we go. Oop, got a toothpick on the wrong side, so squish it back out. And then once it hardens too, you can even sand it, but a lot of times you won't need to. Check that out. Works pretty good. But only with it protruding. That's the only bad part. Like when I get it in these channels, I'll still have to sand it. But that's kind of a neat trick. You see it's nice and flat. So it'll look a lot more like this rear bumper. Maybe put a few bolt heads in it, but I'll figure that part out next. But figure I'd throw that in there too. You guys have a good one.